I'm a coach at heart. I was a youth evangelist for 10 years. Traveled with Christian rock bands all over the country, speaking at concerts. So that's what I did in my former life. Somehow I ended up in the mortgage business doing the same thing with people who actually might want to listen. I don't know. So anyway, I'm a big trigger guy. I believe that stimulus and response is an important thing. When you have a stimulus, an idea, you ever been driving down the road and all of a sudden you have this thought in your mind, and the thought in your mind is, I should call my mother. What you do with that now determines what happens, right? Between stimulus and response, there is a space about 5 seconds, and we'll talk about this later on down the months here. But so I believe in triggers. So if I'm going to get myself to respond to my stimuluses in life, I have to have a trigger. So when I begin to have a stimulus, I had one yesterday. I know this is a funny one, not a great illustration. But we have what's called leftover Mondays at my office on Mondays. You can come, you cannot come. But if you're an employee of iServe, out in the field, in the office, in operations upstairs, on Mondays, bring leftovers from the weekend, go out and get something, bring it back to the conference room. We kind of all just hang out and we do not talk business. We just family, work family, right? Getting to know each other better, talking through life. And so leftover Monday, I didn't have anything. I've been on the road for 2 months with baseball, with traveling baseball. So I thought, not good for me. Main reason I'm going to do it, I'm going to Taco Bell. So I go over to Taco Bell on the drive, stimulus. I should call Karen. Karen always comes down for leftover Mondays. Karen loves tacos. I can tell you right now, if Karen had the choice between a bone-in filet at Bourbon Steakhouse, she would take a taco. Okay, she just loves tacos. And literally I had a stimulus. I should call Karen and see if she wants some tacos. That is stupid. I literally out loud said, that's ridiculous. I laughed at myself. I went through the drive-thru, I came back, I sat down to eat my Nacho Supreme with no beans, extra beef, because that's very important to me. And I'm eating it, and in walks Karen, late. Sorry guys, I got a late start and I ran over to Taco Bell. She sits down right next to me. We have stimuluses for a reason, and the question is, do we act on them? And so I have to have triggers. So when I get a stimulus, I normally go 5, 4, 3. It makes me make a choice. I'm either going to do it or I'm not. I have triggers when it comes to anxiety. I struggle with anxiety because I'm a thinker. I constantly think about what's coming. I constantly think about business. What's going to happen in 3 years? Oh my gosh, in 2033. 2033. I think about all this stuff and it worries me. And when I go, that's my trigger, I now have 5 seconds to choose what I'm going to do with that. Today's one of those days where I have not counted my 5 seconds and I've had a lot of anxiety. I woke up this morning with what seemed like the weight of the world on my shoulders, which probably is not a reality, right? But you ever have one of those days? Today is one of those days for me. And I believe that when we do this and we do life together and we do business together, whether you use iServe or not is not why I'm here. I'm here because I have a purpose, I have a plan to fulfill it, and I just want to come give it passionately. And we're going to talk about that over the next few months. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor though. Hold your questions, hold your thoughts till the end, because most of my sessions are 2 to 3 hour sessions, and we're doing them in like 45 minutes. So I kind of want to get through the points, but I always try to give you some time at the end to go through those. I want to be honest with you up front though, that's the kind of day I've started with. And the drive up here, I find myself thinking through things. Went to the bathroom a few minutes ago, put in my keys, somebody was in there. What are you doing? You know, and I didn't know. I'm literally sitting at the door going, it's my first time, I'm sorry. I've never been, you know.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen
So I went back, and on the walk back, I just kind of had to take a minute and go, what an incredible opportunity we have to gather here today and do what so many companies don't have the ability to do. Let's talk about mindsets of how we can win, not just in our business, but in our life. I tell Ben hears me say this everywhere we go. I coach in about 7 real estate offices or more, about 150 loan officers, and constantly I say the same things. There is nothing new under the sun. I'm not going to tell you anything today you haven't heard before. I'll never tell you anything you never heard before because, number 2, I'm not that smart. I'm really not. I'm about the most basic guy you're ever going to listen to talk, but I'm passionate about the things we're going to talk about, and they all have to do with mindset. So today, I believe that if we have the right mindset, we will always have the right results. If we sow the right things, we will reap the right things. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
I was in California, first time I ever coached with iServe. I'm sitting in a room with 30 loan officers. I'm a little freaked out. I've never been to California before. It is different in California than it is here, okay? A little different. And I'm not 2 minutes in, and I say, we're going to also talk about the sowing and reaping principle today. Guy literally stands up in the back. I'm not kidding. He stands up and goes, whoa, just like that. Here we are. We're in California. He says, whoa, I don't want to hear this God stuff. I said, wait a minute. I didn't say anything about God. Even an atheist farmer believes in sowing and reaping, right? Because there are absolutes in life. 2 + 2 = 4, no matter what that new math thing was about that didn't work out. Somehow it didn't work out. Anybody build houses? Try using that new math when you build a house. It doesn't work out. If I put my hand in fire, I will get... There are absolutes in life no matter what you believe. So I'm going to say this once, and then I won't say it again because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I also want to be somewhat politically correct, but I also got to share my passion with you, right? But my goal isn't to abuse that at all. Whether you believe it's the universe, whether you believe it's just absolute truth, or whether you believe it's God, that is up to you, okay? But at the end of the day, there is absolute truth in life, and if we do the right things, we get the right results. If you don't like the results you're getting, you must change your behaviors, right? And so today, we're going to kind of kick this off with just a little bit of a mindset check, okay? And hopefully it'll be good for you. If you enjoy that, if it means something to you, if you find value in it, I hope that as Wyatt and I work on this schedule, you'll come back again. I've yet to be kicked out of anywhere we're at, but this could be the first. Okay? So here we go. Notice at the bottom of your sheet, there are some action item fill-in spots. And again, hold your questions, hold your thoughts till the end. That's for you. I'm not going to fill that in for you later. Okay, so anywhere along the way, I'm not that smart and it ain't that deep. Okay, remember that one. Fill in something if you see something of value to you. Maybe an action item that maybe you should start doing. Maybe something you see that could work in a relationship. This isn't just about business. What I was saying before, Ben knows and hears me say it everywhere we go. There is something about this year, and I can't explain it. Part of it came from a meeting with JD. Not all of it, but part of it. I can't give him the glory on all of it, okay? I am absolutely burdened this year with our real estate agents, with our partners, with our employees, that we finished 2019 different than we started it. And guys, I have somebody that I'm really burdened for right now that I'm coaching, that I don't care if they close one deal this year. I just want their marriage fixed. Does that make sense? This doesn't just have to be about business. This is mindset. This is life. And if our life goes well, guess what happens to our work? It does well. There are absolute truths. So you can fill some things in the bottom as you see fit. I keep my notes in my hand because if I don't, you're going to be getting up and leaving, and I'm still going to be talking about point 1. All right, so I'll keep moving. Let's fill in some blanks here at the top to get us started, okay? Because we want to get down to the middle a little bit so we can spend a little time. To get to where you want to go, you must first face the brutal facts about where you currently are. Write that in there. You got to face the brutal facts about where you currently are. Everybody has goals. Interesting that we're starting this in July. It is July, right? Literally after Memorial Day, I have no idea what it is until about August 1st. I am on the road with baseball and trying to work at the same time, and it gets interesting for me. I've been in the office 7 days since Memorial Day. I mean, I'm just gone sleeping in a hotel. So y'all pray for me because I'm about to give up here on the baseball thing. But at the end of the day, all of us have goals. It's interesting we're doing this in July because our goals begin to fade, right? I mean, November we start working on them. December, Christmas, but man, January 1, right? And we raise the flag, so to speak, for January 1. And then January 1, we're off. And we dig in. And we sow more than we've ever sown, usually, in January and February. And about mid-February, I love Tennessee. But January and February could just literally go away, and I would probably be very happy. They are dreary. They are cold. I told you sometimes I have anxiety issues, right? Being honest with you. January and February are rough. I mean, it's just dead outside and it's cold. If it's going to be cold, it might as well snow and just have 2 months of snow days. I'm in, okay? If not, let's just warm up and get back to the pool and baseball, right? So at the end of the day, it's easier to get in and drive in January and February. Then we start to lose our gas a little bit. And by the time we get to June, we're kind of doing our vacations and we're excited about that. And then we start coming back for that. And then all of a sudden, driving home from baseball this past weekend, I looked at my son, 16 years old, going to be a junior. And I said, hey, exciting. He goes, what, Dad? I said, you start school in 4 weeks. That didn't go over real well with him. He didn't enjoy that thought. And then, of course, sitting at the table this weekend, I said it again to the whole group. Hey, you go to college in like 4 weeks. We get rid of you, and you two get to go back to school. And I can actually work for a living again. This is good, right? We begin to kind of go back down that trail of, oh, crud. I got to get back into this. I'm normally not at my goals yet because I kind of got into spring and summer. So let's think about that. To get to where I want to go, what do we put in there? We got to face the brutal facts about where we currently are. I meet with people all the time. They say, man, I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty good at this real estate thing. Well, what have you been doing? Well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And okay, so what are we basing that we're good on, right? What is our real goal here? I can't tell you the whole story today because we don't have the time. You start to realize why my sessions are 2 and 3 hours because my stories go that long. But give you a little idea, and I'll go back to this in other sessions. I lost everything in the crash. I owned a company. My financial planner, who's related to me, said 4 more years. 4 more years. At like 35, 36 years old, I was going to retire. I had made millions in the mortgage business. I did $80 million a year, owned my own company. Many originators doing a lot of business. Lost it all in the crash. I'm giving you the very short version. A real estate agent who was concerned about me, and she should have been, took me down to Atlanta to meet with a coach. And there in that building, I don't know why, 300 people at this conference, I was like the whipping boy. I don't know if she told him. I don't know if he just didn't like me. Maybe I just look like the guy you want to whip on. I don't know. I could be in the front row or the back row, and somehow he would point me out and call me by name, and somehow I'm the whipping boy this entire 3 days. We're down to the last day. I am in the lobby. I can't be any more depressed. I can't be any more down. I've lost it all. My wife is telling me, we hate you, but your kids don't love you anymore. You're never around. You're not I mean, I was in a very bad spot in 2009 during the crash. It was all by design, but I'm sitting in this chair feeling sorry for myself, and I'm waiting for her to come down because we were going to go into this dinner, and here walks this coach. This is one of those lobbies in a 5-star hotel where you can play 2 football games side by side. You know the lobbies I'm talking about? They're huge, and they echo. Click, 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 all the way. I see him coming, and I'm like, man, that guy's a jerk. I can't stand this guy. I don't even know why I'm here. I mean, everything is woe is me, right? He comes over and sees me. You know how they have these little areas with 4 chairs, and there's nothing in the middle, and people just kind of sit around in the lobby and talk or whatever? He comes up, I'm sitting in the chair, he comes up and grabs the chair, slides it up right in front of me. You think I'm kidding? My knees are like this, and his are on both sides of mine, and our chairs are up against each other, all echoing through this building. He looks me in the eye, and he says, why are you in my business? Oh, I didn't know the mortgage business was yours. I didn't realize you owned all the mortgage world. I'm literally going to punch this guy in the face, but I am so down and out. I just look at him and go, because I'm the best at it. I was 4 years from retirement at 30-something years old. I have kicked its butt and handed it back to it. I'm better than you are. I'm number 1. I was number 10 in the nation 3 years in a row in originating nationally. Top 20 almost every year. I'm good at it. He literally looks at me, no joke, and goes, he scoots his chair all the way back, gets up, walks to me and says, I can't help you. You need to go, and walks off. Guys, I was so low before that happened, put me over the edge. I sat there in that chair and began to weep. I'm not talking about cry. I'm not talking about upset. I'm not talking about the start of a bad day today, right? I'm talking about, I'm done. I got nothing else to give here. This is the only time in my life I thought about suicide. 44 years old, one time, one day in my life. He gets about 555 million miles away, because this place is huge, and he stops. And I'm kind of doing this number, you know, and I'm looking over, seeing if she's coming, because I need to get my eyes dry, because I'm the man, right? I mean, obviously, I am a stud. And so I'm like rubbing my eyes. I was so lost at this time in my life. And I'm rubbing my eyes, and I look up, and he has stopped. Now, understand, I'm going to show you. This is what I saw from 100 yards away. He turns and comes back. A little more purpose in his step this time. He comes all the way over. No joke. I am not exaggerating this. He grabs the chair I mean, it's echoing through the place. He pulls it right up. My knee's in the middle, his on the outside, and he literally looks at me and says, "No!" And he calls out some words that I'm not going to say in mixed company. And he cusses at me a little bit, and then he says, "Tell me why you're in the mortgage business." I was done. I had nothing left to give. I literally stood up, put my knees on both sides of him in this chair. This is not a joke. He is now sitting in his chair like this. My knees on both sides to him. I have now crawled on top of him. My hands are on his. I'm in his face. He's like this, and I'm over top of him. Snot, tears, the whole nine, dropping in his face. And I said, "I don't care about..." It's echoing through the building. They're now probably calling security. "I don't care about the mortgage business. I just want to save my family, provide for my family, and help people." Did you catch that in my fake screen? He literally does this number. Okay. He sits me back in my chair. He stands up, pushes the chair back, and he goes, "Now I can help you. I'll see you after dinner." Walks away. Now I'm worse off than I was the first time he walked away. I am sobbing. But you know what I realized in that moment? I can't get to where I want to go if I can't face the brutal fact of where I am. I'm at the total bottom of my life, and I really don't care about being number one. I don't care about closing $1 billion in business, which is my goal. I don't care about being on the cover of a magazine anymore. I was fighting for the wrong things, and that's why I ended up where I am. I sowed the wrong stuff, therefore I reaped the wrong stuff, and the reward was not what I wanted. I had to face the brutal facts. And from that day forward, that meeting forward, I remember the of the chair, and I can hear it in my mind because that's the day that my life started back again. Because I faced the brutal facts with the help of a really big jerk. And he was. But he helped me find that. Let's fill in the next line. If you're not happy with the results you're getting, you must change your behaviors. So think about this with me. You say, "Dennis, what are you trying to start off with here?" Sometimes, and I think it's why I've been a little down today, because I've realized I've put some things off. I think Ben might be the one that would tell me to eat the frog, right? I think you actually did yesterday or today. I said, "Man, I've been gone. I got so many things I got to deal with that I really don't want to deal with." They throw back at you what you coach them on. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, you need to eat the frog. You just need to go ahead and get it over with. Let's, get it done. And I think that starts to weigh on you. I have to face the brutal facts. Maybe in your life, you got to face some brutal facts to get this mindset going so that when we really get into the good stuff a few months from now, where your business is going to go boom. I mean, it's going to explode. But it won't do it if you don't face the brutal facts of where you are, because you can't get to where you're going. You don't even have the mindset to get there until you get that. Does that make sense? And I know this hits everybody in the room differently. But where are you in your business right now? Are you really reaching your goals? You just kind of getting through some deals and it's working for you, but it's not really what you want? Face that today. Face that. And look, if you don't like the results you're getting, all we have to do is change our behaviors. Because if I sow corn, what am I going to get every time? Corn. So I'm going to show you some things through these months of what you sow into your business that are backed by a promise. Universe promise, God promise. You call it, okay? For you. Backed by a promise that if you sow them, you will reap. And it tells you what you reap is good. It's the right kind of reward. Let's look and fill in a couple more blanks. So there's 3 P's to a happy work life. Because again, we're doing a fundamentally basic mindset check, right? So 3 P's to a happy work life. This is interesting. I'm doing this right now because about 45 minutes ago, I was on a ride here talking to another vice president of another company that's very active, killing it right now, and look like they got it together. But he's a buddy of mine. So I called him on the way here, and I said, "Bro, I know you're the one guy in your position that'll be honest with me. Do I just need to pack it up and quit the mortgage business? Because right now I feel like I'm failing at everything. Everything's a fight, right?" Well, that's usually a sign you're doing the right thing. Because nothing worth having is easy, right? And so I feel like I'm in this fight all the time in this mortgage business. He goes, "No, we're all there." So I just got done with a long phone call of kind of complaining about the mortgage business, but I'm going to talk to you about 3 P's. That's why I said it's so interesting I'm here today, because I needed this myself. 3 P's to a happy work life. You want to be happy in your work? You want to be happy in your life? You want to be happy in your marriage? You want to be happy in your relationships? Let's look at them. First, you got to find your purpose. Fill in the blank. Who you are. This all goes back to that night in that hotel building. That is where purpose, plan, and passion became my new mantra for my business model. I know what I was called to. I know why I was created for. I was on the wrong path, right? That night I realized, and over the next few weeks I began to develop that I'm not living my purpose anymore. I'm totally chasing the wrong things. It is not who I am. Well, when you find your purpose, who you are. By the way, my purpose is not to close mortgages. It's not my purpose. It's my platform. It's my plan. Okay? When you find your purpose, now you find your plan, where you're going. Fill in that blank, where you're going. So purpose, who I am, plan, where I'm going. Once I know my purpose in life, why I'm here, does that make sense? It's probably not to sell real estate. Real estate may be the platform for you to do that. So whatever your purpose is, when you find it, now I make a plan of how to use it. Why? Not genie in the bottle. I'm going to rub the bottle and get my wish. No. It's just if I live out my purpose and I sow the right seeds, I will get the right results. So I make a plan where I'm going. Once you know who you are and where you're going, guess what you get to do? You get to do all day long, you just live passionately. You just live passionately. It amazes me the 3 P's. When people live these, usually within a year or two, I find myself having coffee with them and they go, oh, don't get me wrong, real estate stinks sometimes. Like sometimes I hate dealing with clients. Sometimes I want to punch the other real estate agent who doesn't get it, right? That doesn't change. The industry doesn't fix itself just because you found your purpose, made a plan, and you're passionate about it. Matter of fact, sometimes you get a little attacked because of that. But they say, when I found my purpose, why I'm really here, and who I am, and I figured out how I was going to go. I came brutally honest. I changed what I was doing, my behaviors, and I began to act on my purpose and made a plan. Man, I just live in passion all day long, and it's amazing what happens. Guys, you're not betting people. You don't look like betting people. But everywhere I go outside of Middle Tennessee, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, California, Nevada, all these places, almost every time, if I have a day-long or more series that I'm doing, I will make them a bet at the beginning of the day that dinner is on me the last night if I don't have at least 3 referrals when I leave here. By the way, I am not going to solicit business while I'm here. Matter of fact, I haven't personally closed a mortgage since December 31st of 2016 because the government said you can't do that and own at the same time. It's different than real estate. You can't be on both ends of the equation. And I had to make a choice. So at the end of the day, I'm not even really in the originating mortgage business anymore. But I guarantee you I'll have 3 referrals before I walk out here. They're like, no, you won't. Yeah, I will. You know why? Because I'm living my purpose. I had a plan, and now I'm living it passionately. I will reap. And it happens every time. I can pull up my voicemail, and I can go, I have no idea who this is. See the number? I can play it. Oh, hey, Dennis, this is Bill. You don't know me. My neighbor, Jim, moved from over the other side of Murfreesboro. Now, he told me you did his mortgage. Now, I don't know when that was, 10 years ago or something, but he says you're the man. And to be honest with you, we need a little help. Can you give me a call? Okay, let me rewind because I'm not really sure where that came from. When I can't explain where the blessings come from, where the business comes from, it's working. I don't have to worry about the reward. I just got to sow the seeds. Do you know in the whole sowing and reaping principle, the only thing I can't control is the harvest? I can take it up. I can sell it. I can eat it. I can do whatever I want with it. I can sow it. I can water it. I can weed it. But I can't control what comes out of the ground. So I'm going to find my purpose. I'm going to make a plan to use that with this platform, and I'm just going to go live it passionately. I had somebody ask me one time after a session, what were you so mad about? Who ticked you off? No, I'm just passionate about it because I know it works. I've lived it. Look at the next section here. 3 types of work. This is the main spot that I want to spend our time today. If you're going to be happy in your work, if you're going to be happy in your life, you've got to find your purpose. Did I not tell you? I'm not going to tell you anything new. I'm not that smart, okay? So at the end of the day, everyone knows when you find your purpose in your work, it's not work anymore, right? When you have a plan to execute, you normally do. And when you live passionately, people don't buy products, they buy passion. So at the end of the day, it works, right? But there's still 3 different types of work. And that's what we want to walk away from today. Look at them real quick. A job. Write it off to the right. A job is what you're paid to do. A job is what you're paid to do. Let me give you some illustrations. By the way, if you do this on the side, I'm not talking about these things as a negative. I'm just giving an illustration. So my son worked at Chick-fil-A for about 6 months. That's a job. You don't have to have training. They'll teach you what to do, don't get me wrong, but you don't need a license. Real estate is not a job because you have to have a license to do it. It's specialized. Do you follow me? So a job is what you're paid to do. Just about anybody can do it. And at the end of the day, you don't really have to have any additional training. So a job is what you're paid to do. Look and fill in the career. A career is what you're hired to do. Now we're getting into real estate, right? Because as a real estate agent, you have to have a license. You're specialized. You literally had to go to a school and you had to pass a test. And here's the bottom line. As long as I've worked 20 years in real estate, I cannot sell your home. I can guarantee you that I can write a good contract though. But I can't sell your home. I can tell you, hey, we need to be careful of this page on the contract because this could come back to haunt you. Why? I've been 20 years. I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of contracts, but I still can't sell your home. My career is not real estate. It is what you're hired to do. But maybe you can. I doubt it, but you can't close a loan because you don't have my license. You don't have mine. So we both have careers. They collide, but I can't sell a house and you can't close a loan. A job is what you're paid to do, but a career is what you're hired to do. We want to spend time on number 3. Your vocation is what you're called to do. It's what you're called to do. Remember we talked about the 3 P's? Purpose. Until you find why you're here, it's really hard to go live passionately. Until you find why you're here, your calling, your purpose, it's really hard to make a plan, right? And so number 3 is your vocation. It's your voice. It's who you are. It's your purpose, your calling in life. If you could live out your purpose, if you could live out your calling in real estate, success is inevitable. Because when you live out your purpose with a plan passionately, people do not buy products, they buy passion. End of story. So we have 3 different kinds of work. A job is what you're hired to do. Nothing special. It's just a job. Nothing wrong with it, but it's just a job, right? It's what you're paid to do. A career, what you're hired to do. Not everybody can do it. Only you can sell that home. I can't. Only we can do your mortgage. You can't. But a vocation is what you're called to do. Let me give you a little illustration of this. A good friend of mine, in medical device sales. He's really good. I mean, like he's a salesman. He was a D1 basketball coach for 16, 18 years. A motivator, you know what I'm saying? So he was a very good sales guy. Doing good, but wasn't really enjoying it. It wasn't passionate for him. Basketball was passionate for him. But he's making 4 times the money. He's having to travel, though. The goods and the bads, right? He kind of saw it as a job. He's getting paid to go do this. You know, maybe it's a career. I don't know. It's medical device, whatever. He and I, after the crash, 2010 to 2013, we did a lot of encouraging to each other. We were both down a lot. It was a struggle, right? And we would encourage each other because he's a coach, too, at heart. So we would encourage each other. And his big thing is that you grind and repeat every day. Just grind and repeat. You know, and I'm more of the mindset of find out who you are, use that to your advantage, all these different things. We used to encourage each other. One day I'm driving down 96 between Murfreesboro and Franklin. You can kind of see that in your head. I'm between Murfreesboro and Franklin on Highway 96 heading across, and I got on the phone with my buddy. And we began to talk a little bit, and I began to talk to him about this right here. I was working on this whole thing for a session I was going to be doing in California. And to be honest with you, I was a little nervous about it. It wasn't coming together in my head quite right. And so early on, and so I started telling him about it. He goes, job, career, whatever, it's all the same thing, right? I mean, you go to work. That's you know, he's a northern guy who was a coach, NCAA basketball coach. They're rough, okay? And now he's in medical device sales, hardcore sales, right? And so that was kind of his take on it. He wasn't getting it. We had been discussing this for a little while. He wasn't buying in, right? And so I'm trying to bounce some things off him. Wasn't getting it. Finally, just out of nowhere, he says, he's on the road also. He was actually on the highway going up through Kentucky. I said, where are you? He said, I'm in Kentucky. I said, where are you going? He goes, I got to drop off a huge shipment of this device. And he hasn't given me permission to use his name or the device. If you know anything about medical device, you would know what company it was because they're the only ones that had the patent on it and still do. So he had this device, and he had boxes of them in his car in his trunk. And he goes, I got to drop them off at this hospital up here. Man, they made a big order. But I got to be honest with you, man. I'm so sick of this. I'm getting ready to pass one of the largest children's hospitals ever, and they won't even let me in. I literally cannot get past the gatekeeper. I mean, at this point, I walk in, and she jumps out in the aisle, and it's either on like Donkey Kong, like we're going to sumo wrestle, or I just turn around and walk out. She is not letting me into these doctors, and she doesn't understand. Nobody has this device. This is life-saving stuff for children, and they're at children's hospital. We kind of got, you know, we're two guys. We kind of got into it a little bit. I said, man, you're a big sis. I mean, I'm sorry that your salesmanship is that bad. I mean, but if I was a medical device guy, I'd already sold them like 5 times. They would literally have them stocked up in like the closets because I sold them so many. But I understand, not everybody's as good as I am. I mean, I'm trying to egg him a little bit. And he goes, no, man. I said, listen, one last shot. What are you talking about, Dennis? One. And what are you talking about? You're going to go up there and drop that stuff off. On your way home, you're going to pull off. You're going to go in that hospital, and it's one shot. What do I mean by one shot? One. You don't ever get to go back again. You have to hand that account off to somebody else. If they call you the next week and say, oh, we're so sorry, we fired her. She would never let you to us. We're dumb. We want your device. You have to give it to somebody else. You either win or you lose. One shot. I mean, Eminem is playing in the background. You know, we're hearing Rocky 5. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm hearing it. You know, it's like, come on, baby, let's go, you know. And so I'm like trying to charge him up, and he's buying in. So I'm like, you ready for this? You going to do this? He goes, hold on a minute. All right, I'm back. What happened? Did you get a call or something? Drop your phone? He goes, no, I had to turn around. You had to turn around? Yeah, I just passed the hospital. I'm going back right now. No, man, just go on your way home. Don't screw up your other appointment for one you don't know you're going to get. Don't know I'm going to get. One shot, baby. I'm in. She ain't stopping me. I mean, it's on. Championship day, on the line. Call me back. Call me back. Let me know how it goes. All right. Come on, man. You got this. Hangs up the phone. The day goes on. I get to my meeting. I go to another meeting. I come back home. I'm sitting there, and I'm going, I haven't heard from him. And I got to check in on this. So I kind of text him and go, hey, man, what happened? How'd this go? My phone rings. Dude, did you do it? I mean, did she like jump out and sumo wrestle you to the ground? And, you know, because I know you're weak. You know, what happened? You know, and he is not in the joking mood. He is somber. He is never somber. This would be like Ben. I mean, somber, quiet. Quiet. And I said, dude, are you okay? What happened? He goes, I got to tell you what happened. He said, I get out of my car. I mean, I'm literally almost like shadow boxing and he thought, here we go. You know, it's on. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm going. And he said, I started walking towards her with purpose. And she goes, are you the guy with this medical device? And he's like, well, that was easy. Yeah, I am. Do you have any? Yeah, I have a car. Do you have any? In the car. Go get one now. Hurry. Now, when you're ready to charge hell with squirt guns, and that happens, he said, it took me a minute. She's now screaming not so nice words at me to hurry up. He said, I ran out to my car, opens her. I'm literally going, what is going on here? I ripped the box open. They all fall out. And he grabs one, and he's running back in. She's like, hurry. Within minutes, he finds himself, and if you know medical device, they go into surgery many times. And he's standing there scrubbing in next to this doctor, and he's like, what are we doing? He goes, do you have the device? Yes, they've already got it. They're scrubbing everything in. We're good. He goes, just follow me, and you don't let me mess this up. I've never used one of these before. Well, that's because they wouldn't let me in 6 months ago. You know, that's what he's thinking in his head. He's still on charge, right? He's still got Rocky playing in the background. So they get into the surgery. He looks at the table. There is a baby. He said that 2 hands could hold the entire baby. Premature baby. He said, I looked at that table and fear just came over me. He said, come on, you got to help me here. We got to hurry. We got to hurry. He takes this medical device and begins to use it. And as he uses it, he said, am I doing this right? Yeah, turn it this way. And they've got this scope so they can see how it works. And he goes, okay, you're there. You're there. Stop. All the levels go to normal. The baby's heart rate, all the blood pressure, all these things. The doctor literally goes down weeping. He said, man, you have no idea what you just did by showing up here today. Can you go sit in the lobby? I'm going to scrub out, make sure everything is fine, talk to the parents. I'm going to get some of my partners. We're stocking this entire hospital with everything you've got. You're our guy. He's still got Rocky just slowly getting softer in the back of his head. And he's taken back. He said, I sat in the lobby and I sat there and he's fighting back tears, which is not him at all. And he's fighting back these tears and he's just a little lost in all this, trying to put it together, what just happened because of all the rah-rah in the car that meant nothing. And so the guy comes out, lady in a wheelchair and a man pushing it with the doctor. They pull up. The woman is weeping and she looks at him and says, if you wouldn't have came here today, at the exact time that you came here today, they told me my baby would have died. Thank you. Now remember, I told him to go on. But he had a stimulus that said, I'm going back now. Hurry, hurry. He goes in. They save his baby. It gets quiet for a minute. I'm teary-eyed. He's really upset. He said, of course, I got the sale and all that, but he said, it didn't even matter at that point. He said, when I watched that woman be wheeled away, I thought to myself, I have 2 children. He said, I'm still trying to put it together. I said, hey, bud, can I ask you a question? What's your job? He said, I'm a salesman. It went just like this. He said, I'm a salesman. I said, what's your career? He said, I'm a medical device salesman. I said, what's your vocation? He said, I save babies' lives. See the difference? It wasn't a job anymore. It wasn't even a vocation anymore. I mean, a career. I save babies' lives. By the way, with that new mindset, he became the #1 sales guy. The company sold to the largest medical device company in America. He got paid out incredible amounts of stock and all these things because he had made it to the top that fast after that. That company is now split. He's now the vice president of all of sales for that company. His salary is more than most people make in a lifetime. All these things. And I always joke with him when we're together. Not always, that's a stretch. But I every once in a while when it's just he and I'll go, hey, what's your job? And he'll just kind of laugh. He'll go, until the day I realized I wasn't selling plastic out of my trunk. Until the day I realized I wasn't just another guy and I wanted to win the deals to be that guy. When I realized people's lives can be changed with what I have to offer. He goes, I became so passionate, nobody told me no. I outsold everyone in the country to the point that they couldn't even pay me commissions anymore and had to make me the boss because I was breaking the company financially with so many sales. They couldn't keep up because he found purpose. When he found out who he really is, he doesn't just have a job. He doesn't just have a career. He saves babies' lives. Let's fill in the last few blanks. The top one there. Mediocrity is the largest issue that most people have. I'm doing okay. My sales are good. I'm number 5 out of 25 in the company. I'm okay. I had a loan officer came in my office and said, hey, you're always just naming off the top 10. I'm number 15. We name off the top 10. I know, but the Chairman's Club is 15. You guys only name off top 10. Well, at the end of the year, it's only the top 10. But I will name your name next month. And she goes, well, thank you. And I said, as soon as you're in the top 10. And she laughed. And Ben knows who I'm talking about. She's funny like that. She wants to be, but she's driven. She will be number one. It bothers her not because she's mediocre. It bothers her because I'm better than this, right? So at the end of the day, it's interesting to me that I have people in my life that it's not mediocrity. They just know their purpose, and my purpose isn't to win in the real estate world. That's just how I provide for my family. Do you remember me sitting in the chair on top of the coach? And I said, I don't care about the mortgage industry. My two things were, I just want to provide for my family, and I want to help people. It's amazing how in these moments, what really is inside comes out, right? I'm only in the mortgage business. Only to pay my mortgage. Isn't that ironic? I'm in the mortgage business to pay my mortgage, to pay my credit card bill, and to make sure Ben's family gets paid, and to make sure that our staff get paid. That's the only reason I'm in the mortgage business. That's it. But it is a platform for me to do my purpose in life, and that's to help people hopefully find purpose, to find their voice. Save babies' lives, not just sell medical devices. Are you with me? So mediocrity, though, is normally the largest issue. Well, I'm all right. Well, if you are, and that's what your stimulus, the universe, God, whatever you believe is telling you, continue on. But when you truly find your purpose and you have a plan, there's not enough time on the planet to get it done. Matter of fact, sometimes our platform gets in the way. I had to cancel speaking at an event for Ben because my board told me you will be in California that day. Well, I need to fly in later. No, you're not. Yes, sir. That's how it works, right? Sometimes it gets in the way of what your real purpose is. Mediocrity, though, is normally the largest issue that people have. Your relationship right now that you wish was better is because you have mediocrity about it. Well, it just is how it is nowadays. That's just kind of where we are. Mediocrity is an issue. I'm not prying. I'm not trying to prick you. I'm just saying the mindset is don't be mediocre about the problems in your life that your stimulus is saying, fix it. Fix it. Life is about so much more than just making it through another deal or another day. This one is a struggle for all of us. We all have real estate deals where you're calling Ben going, Ben, are we going to close tomorrow? Well, if your client would actually return my phone call, it would be a lot easier. Right? No, I can promise you he wants to close as bad as you do. Because I've got this rule in my office. You don't get paid till you close it, right? So he wants to close it as bad as the real estate agent does. The real estate agent wants to close it as bad as the mortgage guy does. And the title company is just going, bring me the package. Why? Because we all want to get the deal done for our people and to provide for our family. But at the end of the day, it can't just be about, man, if I could just get through this deal, I could breathe. If I could just get rid of this client, I could breathe. Life has to be more than that. And that doesn't change that the industry stinks sometimes, and it's hard sometimes, and there's going to be trials and tests. That doesn't change, but it's got to be more about more than just that deal or just making it through another day. Life is about doing something with significance. Fill in these blanks, and then we're going to go back and break this one down, and we'll be done. Can you guys tell me what time it is?
It is 12 till.
12 till. Good. All right. Life is about doing something with significance. Do you write that in? All right? And doing something that fulfills a need with your time and talents. That's almost the definition of a vocation. Life can't just be about getting through another day. Relationships can't be about just getting through this vacation with her. Relationships can't be about just getting through this month until this happens. It can't just, my wife and I had this conversation the other day. I got one going to college. And she goes, oh my gosh, if we could just get him to college. Not because she wants to get rid of him. He's in that weird time of life between high school and college where he's gone, but he's not gone. If we could just get him to college. Life has to be about more than just getting through another day. It has to be about significance. I had a guy that I rode motorcycles with. I went to school in the state of Florida, and there's 7 of us that had motorcycles. Crotch rockets, fast bikes. 3 of my friends are dead. We were never together. They were always by themselves. But there's only 4 of us left. I think we're all 4 still here. Okay, but 3 because of motorcycle accidents that we used to ride with my senior year. When one of them died, he had just graduated and was getting his master's at another college in Mobile. And he had to ride about 40, 50 minutes to get there every day, come back. But he still lived with my other friend in the apartment. You know, he kind of stayed. Well, he was a little crazy. Okay, so he used to get on the highway and he would get that bike up to 125, 130. And if you've ever been on I-10 in Florida that goes, it is straight as an arrow. There is no variance. Boom, straight across, all the way across the strait to Tallahassee. I think there's one gas station between Pensacola and Tallahassee. I mean, it's just a straight shot. And he would get on the highway and he would just go. And his joke was, our joke with him, was you may be able to outrun the police, but you can't outrun Motorola, right? He's on a black bike. He just passed exit 62 going 150. You can outrun the police, but you can't outrun Motorola, okay? You got to stop this. One day, going down the highway, doing big numbers, police hit their lights, they call ahead. He gets to where he cannot see them in his rearview mirror. He jumps off an exit. It wasn't the exit he thought it was. This exit didn't go down and on. This exit went around. You know what I'm saying? And he thought he was on a different exit. He was going so fast that he laid the bike down trying to make the corner. When he came out of the corner just in time, he brought it up to hit it. Truck hit him. Pushed him through the air, they said over 100 feet. Hit a telephone pole, tore this side of his body off. Not good circumstances, right? Pretty obvious. Not doing the right thing. Pretty obvious, right? One of the only funerals I ever went to during my college days. My dad was a minister, so I grew up in funerals and weddings. I went to more in my life than you could ever dream of. But in college, I went to one funeral, and it was that one. It was in North Carolina. A bunch of us rode over there together. And this is what the minister did. He said, for the next however long it takes, we're going to leave an open microphone down below. We'd like for you to be respectful and to be quick, but we're going to give you the opportunity to say something if you'd like to say something, if he made a difference in your life. You think I'm kidding. For 3 to 4 hours, they lined up. I'll never forget one girl lined up, and she said this. She said, I was a freshman and he was a senior in our, they had a little Christian school, big Christian school actually with their church. And she goes, I was a freshman, he was a senior. I was getting picked on a lot. I was kind of nerdy. Nobody really talked to me. I did not fit in at this school. He always made me feel good. He always talked to me. He was always nice to me. And this is what she said. She said, at the end of my freshman year, I decided I was going to take my own life. He showed up at my house. He said, I just couldn't get over it. All day long, go to Amy's house. You need to go to Amy's house. You need to go to Amy's house. And she said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. Next guy comes up. What he did for him. For 3 to 4 hours, there was 3,000 plus people in this massive auditorium, and they just kept going about how he made a difference in their lives. And that day I decided, and I got away from it, as I told you earlier a while, but it was easy to come back because I'd already seen it. When I'm gone, I know this sounds horrible, but I want people to feel a massive void. I want them to think, oh, well, we won't be able to do that again. Oh my gosh, now what will I do here? Who will walk me through this? I know that sounds horrible, and it almost sounds self-serving, and I don't mean it that way, but I want to leave a freaking void in the world when I leave. I want to fulfill a purpose with a plan, and I want to do it so passionately that people go, I don't know if I can do this now. Is that a crazy idea? No. But I don't want to just work a job or do a career. I want to live a vocation where you save babies' lives, right? I want to make a difference. And mediocrity isn't going to get you there. It's about doing something with significance and doing something that fulfills a need with your time and talents. Why waste all of our time just listing and selling a house when we could spend our time changing lives and let the houses will close themselves? You will be shocked. My business tripled when I started helping people close their business and wasn't as concerned about mine. All of a sudden, I started reaping rewards. I didn't even know where they came from. I tell my people all the time, when you get a deal and you can't explain where it came from, My gosh, go back and keep doing what you've been doing. In closing, when they come in my office and they say, Dennis, I'm doing everything you're teaching me to do. I've called everybody in my book. I've visited everybody in my book. I've sent out 500 mailers. I've walked neighborhoods with flyers giving away ice cream. Yeah, I don't know. I've done it all. I don't know what to do. The phone isn't ringing. What do I do? Why you want to hear how crazy this is? Now again, I shouldn't tell this on day one because 6 months from now this will make a lot more sense if you keep coming back. All right? Keep coming back. But you know what I told them to do? Put your computer away. Okay. Take your bag. Put it away in the back of the car. Okay. I need to go get bit. I know. Remember that homeless shelter you were saying? Or remember that hospital you were saying that you wanted to go rock? This is the thing. Crack babies. These babies are born, mothers are hooked on crack. They have to be rocked constantly. So remember you were talking about that? Hey, go up there and rock some babies. Go over to that shelter and serve food. Put your phone away. Put your computer away. And go out serve somebody that has less than you. What are you talking about? Just try it. Go out serve somebody with this idea, this stimulus you've had that you haven't done yet. Go over there and serve dinner. Put your phone away. Put your stuff away. And just go out serve them. By the way, on the way there, it's very important you do this. On the way there, I want you to just name all the things you're thankful for all the way there. Just name them. Do you realize that gratitude is the Powerball to the lottery? When you're grateful, guess what happens? You're blessed. When you go serve people, guess what happens? When you sow, you reap. And it's amazing to me, Ben, you've seen it. They come back in the office the next week and go, I got 3 apps this weekend. I don't know where they came from. I don't live real estate. I don't live the mortgage industry. I have to do my job. I have to fulfill my career, but I want to live in vocation. I want to change people's lives. And it's amazing when you have that mentality to watch what happens in your business. By the way, to watch what happens in your life. All of a sudden your relationships get stronger. All of a sudden people begin to come around you. All of a sudden people want to get on your train and follow you. Why? Because people don't buy products. They buy passion. And you cannot truly be passionate until you know who you are and you know where you're going. And until you decide, oh my gosh, I see where I am and that is not where I want to be. I want to have significance and I want to take my gifts and fulfill a need in the world. You can't even stop the harvest when you do that. Don't just come to Poplar Hill and have a job. Don't just come here and have a career. I don't care what stage in life you're in. Find your purpose. Let's make a plan, and then let's go live it passionately. Because I want to be a part of saving babies' lives. You get me? It changed everything for him. The whole trajectory of his life changed when he realized why he did what he did. Sitting in that chair on top of that coach, when I realized why I do what I do, and I had it backwards, it's amazing how I don't even originate anymore. And I can't stop the business. Last month, my office closed 15 loans that were mine. I haven't originated in almost 3 years. You can't stop the harvest once you start it. Because I'm not in control of it. Just go live it passionately. Does that make sense? I gave you a whole lot of foundational thoughts that we're going to flesh out in 6 individual steps to your success over the next few months. Notice I didn't say 6 steps to success. I said 6 steps to your success. There are 6 mindsets that if you will embrace those mindsets, you won't be able to stop your business. I literally can't stop the loans from coming in. I'm not bragging. I'm trying to give you an illustration. I can't even stop it. And I don't even originate anymore. I have to hand them off to people. You can't stop it. 6 mindsets, steps to your success that I'd like to cover with you. If you'll invite me back and let me come back, that's what I'd like to do. Hopefully, I crammed about 2.5 hours into 50 minutes. So hopefully that didn't take away from it. But at the end of the day, what's your purpose? Do you have a plan? All you have to do is go live it passionately. These 6 things will make a big difference if you can click them in your brain and turn them on. When you sow, you reap. If you're reaping the wrong things, you're sowing the wrong things, right? I can't get corn if I'm sowing green beans. We're going to talk through all those things if you'll let me come back. And you'll come back. We good? Appreciate your time. Thank you, guys.